So you get federally indicted and the Pentagon lets you voluntarily retire? How does that work? So we have a kind of an unusual story out of the Pentagon. A senior official in the Pentagon was recently indicted for an involvement in dogfighting. It's kind of, I guess it's a more significant criminal activity than many of us know. Every once in a while, who was the football player that got caught up in the...
Vick.
Who?
Michael Vick.
Oh, Michael Vick, that's right. He was doing dogfighting down in Virginia, wasn't he? Well, this was the former U.S. Department of Defense official, Mr. Frederick Douglas Moorefield, Jr. He was Deputy Chief Information Officer for Command, Control, and Communications for Office of the Secretary of Defense. So I don't want to overstate how senior he was, but relatively senior. He'd been there a long time and was in an important position. And he was indicted along with another individual by the Justice Department in October of 2023. The Justice Department announcement was a federal grand jury returned a 10-count indictment with conspiracy to engage in an animal fighting venture and other charges related to the alleged establishment and promotion of a dogfighting ring. And so he's a senior government official, so we wanted to know what was he doing, what was his pay, and that sort of information is typically available under the Freedom of Information Act for certain public officials. So we asked for records about his payment, his salary, disciplinary records, and any records related to dogfighting from the Pentagon. We want to know who knew what and when and what he was doing to earn his salary. And we received the following details. He, over 2 years, earned about $2.5 million. His most recent, I think, year, he earned about $300,000. And I'll leave it to you to decide whether or not that's an appropriate salary for doing the work he does, certainly in the Pentagon. But he was also, according to the documents, allowed to voluntarily retire after his indictment. So you get federally indicted and the Pentagon lets you voluntarily retire? How does that work? We have all the details about his salary and his different job titles. I think the more important thing is that he was allowed to voluntarily retire. As best as I can tell from these documents, he has he's had no issues about his retirement spending or funding or, his benefits he gets after he leaves. Stars and Stripes describes the affidavit from the case, which indicates that authorities have been investigating dogfighting ring, which calls itself the DMV board, for years. 9 fellow dogfighters were indicted in Virginia last year, and 8 have pled guilty and cooperated with investigators. Members communicated on the Telegram messaging app after trading finding dogs, exchanging videos, arranging fights and wagers, and comparing methods of killing dogs who lost fights. So it's quite the business. Also was subject to investigation by the Department of Agriculture and other federal agencies who raided homes in September of last year. So it's a real operation he had going. And as I noted in our press release, the Biden-Harris Pentagon has a peculiar HR approach. Fire good men and women who object to forced COVID vaccines, which is what happened, including very significant individuals within our armed forces, but allow indicted individuals to voluntarily retire with full benefits. So it's a very curious case, isn't it? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.